Dylan, we're in trouble. I just got a call from the hospital that your dad has collapsed. Can you come over right now?
What do you mean he collapsed? I've got a lot of work to do and I can't leave right now.
What are you talking about? It's a family emergency. Frank might be in danger. Why can't you come?
Even if I went, there's nothing I could do. I'm not a doctor, and there's no point in just watching him.
That's not true. I think just being there for him would make him feel better. I'm sure you would want to be there for him.
But, I've got a lot of work to do. If I leave now, I'll get in trouble with my coworkers and my boss will get angry with me.
This is not the time to talk about work. Think about how Frank is feeling now.
I can't help it even if you say that. You're there. That's good enough for him, isn't it?
That's not the point. It's about supporting together as a family. How encouraging it would be for Frank just to have you here.
I understand, but I really don't know if I can go now. Can't I come after work?
Why are you being so cold? He's the only father you have. You should take better care of him. You'll regret it later.
I'm not a doctor, so going there won't change anything. I think it would be more of a problem if you just ditch your work and leave.
I can't believe you. It's important that you be here. Do you know how important it is for us to be together in a time like this?
But I'm telling you, there's no point in me going. I can't do anything anyway.
That's not true. For Frank's peace of mind, you need to come now. I can't support him on my own. For your father's sake, stay with him, please, Dylan.
Hey, Amelia. What do you want?
What do I want? You should keep me informed more often.
Why?
What? Do I have to tell you every single time? It's no use saying that now. Where did you go without calling me? You should call me when you're going to be late.
Sorry. My mom called me after work, and I'm at my parents' house to discuss a trip.
A trip?
I'm going to Tahiti for Christmas with my mom. We had been planning it for a while, but it was suddenly decided.
What? Wait a minute. Why did you decide so suddenly?
Well, Christmas is less than a week away. I guess it's understandable to be surprised. Actually, Mom was supposed to go with Dad. But since he's in such a bad shape, I had to go instead of him on short notice.
Wait a minute. Why Tahiti now?
What? Is it unusual to travel to Tahiti for Christmas? It's rather standard, isn't it?
But Frank, who was supposed to go on that trip to Tahiti is in the hospital unconscious, right? Normally, you would cancel the trip at a time like this.
I heard that if we cancel the trip now, we would have to pay a huge cancellation fee. If that's the case, then it would be better for me to go instead, and Mom would be happy to go with me.
Considering Frank's condition, I don't think she would be in the mood to go on a trip. Why are you so insensitive?
Really? I mean, I don't have to think that much, do I? He's in a vegetative state and he's never going to wake up again, and we're not allowed to visit him anyway. I don't think it matters what we do in the meantime.
It's a matter of feelings. I can't imagine going on a trip in this situation. If I were you, I would cancel the trip without worrying about the cancellation fee.
Well, whatever. You're not going and I'm going.
Are you really going? I really don't understand. Why are you so cold?
Oh, God. You're really stubborn, aren't you? I'm going to Tahiti no matter what you say. I'm packing my bags for the trip tonight, and then I'm staying at my parents' house and going straight to Tahiti. There's no point in stopping me.
Hey, Dylan, you need to reconsider a little more.
Whatever.
What is it already? I really can't believe it.
Amelia, I'm going to go now. I'm so excited that the plane I'm supposed to board is right in front of me right now. I feel lucky to be able to go to Tahiti for Christmas.
Are you serious?
Of course I'm serious. Well then, I'm getting on the plane now.
You're really going? Are you really going to Tahiti under these circumstances? I can't believe you.
Yes, I am really going. Mom wants to go, and it's my job as her son to make it happen. I'm just doing my mom a favor as her son. Besides, she's been planning this trip for a long time. Even if my father's condition suddenly changed, I couldn't cancel it considering my mother's feelings, could I?
In the first place, when her own husband is unconscious in the hospital, I don't know what your mother is thinking. Normally, she wouldn't even consider a trip at a time like this. I don't understand what kind of nerve she has.
Stop messing around. You're always complaining like that. Don't tell us what to do.
Let me tell you something. If Frank wakes up while you are away, I will tell him the truth. I'll tell him what you were doing. When he wakes up, I'll make sure he knows how irresponsible you guys were.
You can do whatever you want, but he's not going to wake up anyway. You're dreaming. I don't care what you say. Well, if he wakes up, you take care of him during our Christmas trip. Of course, don't cut corners. You'll take care of Dad. We'll have fun in Tahiti. We'll be back in a week. We're going to have a good time, so you guys hang in there. See you later.
Even if you regret it later, it's too late. Your irresponsibility is truly appalling.
Amelia, Merry Christmas.
Ah, Frank, Merry Christmas. How are you feeling?
Well, I'm getting by. The hospital food is surprisingly good, and I'm well enough to enjoy it.
I'm glad to hear that.
By the way, did my wife and son go to Tahiti after all?
Yes, they left yesterday as scheduled.
I see.
I'm sorry I couldn't stop them. I told Dylan to stop many times. He never even went to the hospital.
That's okay. I want you to keep quiet about the fact that I am already awake. I'm the one who asked them not to force themselves to visit me. I was seeing if they would come to the hospital without me or you saying anything.
Then, after all, are you not going to change your mind?
No, I'm not going to change my mind. When I had my accident and was rushed to the emergency room, I heard that my sister's family and you were the only ones who came to the hospital. I wanted to see whether they go on a trip to Tahiti or not. I wanted to see that first before I make my decision. And in the end, they went to Tahiti. So now I have my answer.
Frank.
I'm sorry I brought you into this, but now that I know my son is just as guilty...
Yes, I understand. I'll make up my mind and cooperate with you.
Thank you. Hey, you're free tomorrow, right? I know you're only taking care of my dad, so you should be free.
Don't talk like that.
We'll be back there tomorrow. You can pick us up at the airport.
What? How long do you think it takes to get to the airport from my place? It takes more than an hour and a half each way. And if you think about the time and fatigue on the way back, it's a huge burden. Why don't you just take a cab home? Why don't you do that?
I have a lot of luggage. We have a lot of suitcases and we bought a lot of souvenirs. It's too much for us to carry on our own. You're my wife, but you can't listen to me and my mother. You're supposed to cooperate with us as a member of the family.
I have more important things to do than that. Frank is awake, so you have to go visit him.
What? Really?
When I went to his hospital, he was awake. I was surprised at first, but I was really happy to see him awake.
What? Are you serious?
Yes, it's true. He says he can get text, and he wants to say something to you now. I'm sure he has a lot to tell you.
He woke up? No kidding. That can't be true. Hey, it's me. Dad, really? Oh, is that you, Dylan? How are you enjoying your trip? Are you enjoying Tahiti? Oh no. You went instead of me, didn't you? Oh, yeah. We went to many places. Oh yeah? I bet you must have been very satisfied with your trip to Tahiti, even if you had to leave your unconscious father behind. What? You're coming back tomorrow, right? I hope you enjoy the rest of your trip to the fullest, in preparation for the hell that awaits you in the future. I'm going to have a long talk with you about what you were doing. Dad, what do you mean? I'm a little scared. All right, let's get to it. It's time to pay for all the fun you've had. Don't think you can escape. What? What are you going to do? Are you really going to do something? What are you trying to do to us? You're really hyped up, aren't you? I wonder if you're going to surprise us with something. You're my dad, so I'm sure it won't be a big deal. Tell your mom to be prepared. The real test as a family is about to begin. You're not going to get away with this. What? What do you mean by be prepared? Don't tell me something's really going to happen. Huh? Something's wrong. Dad, are you really mad at me? Are you really mad at me? No, you're not just mad. I have a feeling something more serious is going to happen. Amelia, I just arrived home. What the hell are you doing? I don't understand. You better explain it to me. Why the divorce papers?
You just got home? Welcome home.
What's with the divorce papers?
It is what it is. You met up with your lover in Tahiti, didn't you?
What? Why?
Your father was investigating your mother's affair. He found out that you were cheating on me and your mother knew it. That's what he told me.
Well, he knows about my mother's affair too.
Of course. Mother and son each took a trip to Tahiti with their cheating partners. I hope you had a good time.
No, wait. If you think about it, the timeline is not right. He had just woken up from a coma. He didn't have the time to do all that research.
We started investigating the affair 6 months ago, and we've been worried about it for a while. But now we have some evidence that confirms it. Frank was already awake a month ago. Even after he regained consciousness, he didn't say anything.
Huh? Is that true? I had no idea.
He just woke up when I went to visit him. That's when he told me everything.
You didn't tell me and Mom. Why would you do that?
When I told him that you and your mother never came to the hospital, he asked me not to tell you guys.
Why? Why did you have to do that?
I guess he wanted to see how much you cared about him.
Why did you bother to do that?
Dylan, because he already knew that you were not his child. I kept it quiet for a long time, but now I can't hide it anymore.
Huh? How did you know that? I never told you that.
I don't know when you found out about your birth, but you must have felt it for a long time. Your mother's lover, the one who accompanied you on this trip to Tahiti, is your real father. That's why you didn't mind going with her. In other words, the members of the trip were your parents, who are related by blood, and their son, plus your cheating partner. I'm sure that it was 4 of you guys, right? You were aware that the family was distorted, but you pretended not to see it.
We're that exposed? Damn it. How did this happen?
I wonder if your mother has noticed the divorce papers in your parents' living room by now. I bet you'll find out what's waiting for you where you're going together.
What? Divorce papers? Why would there be such a thing?
Frank is in the hospital and asked me to leave them for him. He has known about this for a long time, and yet he has endured it without telling me. But he couldn't take it anymore.
What? I didn't hear that.
Oh, yes. He was transferred to another hospital, so it's too late for you to run to the previous hospital now. You don't know where he went either, and you don't need to know.
Where was he transferred to? You're going to have to tell me that.
I don't know that either. It was your father's own decision.
Huh? You asked my father for all this in-depth information, and you don't know his whereabouts?
We've decided to act separately after your return. After last night's greeting, we deleted our contact information from our phones. So we are no longer in touch. That means he doesn't know where I am now either. If you really want to contact him, please ask the lawyer who is scheduled to visit your mother.
He hired a lawyer?
Of course he did. By the way, I'm also asking you to go through a lawyer from now on too.
You too? This is not happening.
You saw his business card with the divorce papers. That's the lawyer who's going to represent me.
Hey, let's talk about this once. We've only been married for 3 years, and I think there's room for us to start over.
What does a man who cheated on his wife in less than 3 years have to say about that? Besides, no matter how much it turns out that we are not blood related, to Frank, who raised you ever since you were born, I can't understand a man who would treat him that badly. I really feel sorry for Frank, so it's only natural that I want a divorce, right?
But hey!
Then this is the last time.
Huh?
Alimony, please, in one lump sum.
Huh? This is Dylan. Dad? I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I still think of you as my father, and I've always respected you. That's why I'm really sorry about this Tahiti thing. Mom really wanted to go, and I wanted to force her to go. I thought I could take your place, but I realize now that I was wrong. Oh, just in time. I was just about to tell you. Please tell your mother that I'm not going to change my mind about the divorce. Based on everything that's happened, there's no going back. Besides, Dylan, I'm breaking off the relationship with you. I have no regrets for raising you up until now, but I'm disappointed in your behavior. Oh no. I'm going to cancel this phone I'm using now in the near future. I will cut off all means of communication from you. Therefore, soon there will be no direct contact from me to you. You'll have to go through my lawyer from now on. Oh, no, Dad. What am I supposed to do? I'm not going to talk to you anymore. From now on, you're on your own, just as I have done. Goodbye. Wait, Dad.
Frank, through his lawyer, had Dylan file for annulment of inheritance. As a result, instead of Dylan not receiving his share of the property, he would not be sued by Frank for alimony. And Frank filed a claim for alimony against Dylan's biological father. I claimed alimony from Dylan's partner, with whom he had an affair. The company found out about Dylan's incident and started whispering about it within the company. He could no longer stand the cold stares from those around him, so he left the company voluntarily. Dylan, his mother, Dylan's father, and the woman with whom he was having an affair were all in debt and living without money. They deserve it. I heard that the four of them fought constantly and eventually scattered. Meanwhile, Frank and I were able to start a new life. He has overcome many years of hardship and is now living a peaceful life. I am also trying to be supportive of Frank, seeing him regularly as we move forward into a new future.
Did you remember to visit Mom today?
Of course. In fact, I'm still with her.
That's nice. Thanks and all.
Have you finished work yet? If so, can you stop by for a little bit?
I'm tired and I really want to relax. Why? Did Mom say something?
No, but can't you stop by? Just for a bit. Since she moved back home from assisted living, you've hardly ever seen her.
Do I really have to? There's nothing for me to do there.
I'm sure your mom would like to see her son's face once in a while.
But it's not like I can help take care of her or anything. Isn't it better to let women take care of each other? Women are natural caregivers.
That's true? You don't even take care of your own son, so you'd have no idea how to take care of your mother.
Why would you say something like that?
You know your sisters don't come by to visit Mother either.
You know Scarlett and Ivy are both working moms. Unlike you, Luna, they have a lot on their plates.
I feel sorry for Mom. They both live so close but never come by to see her.
Did she say something about them to you? You really should concentrate more on taking care of her needs and cut down on the gossiping.
It's called confiding with one another, not gossiping. She's your mother, Harry. Show some respect. I feel bad for her. None of her children visit her.
If I have time, I'll stop by. And I'll let Scarlett and Ivy know as well.
Thank you. I'll be leaving here soon to go home.
Oh, I'm gonna meet the guys after work tonight for drinks, so don't rush on my account.
What? You have time for drinks, but you don't have time to come by and see your mom. Plus, I was hoping you could come pick me up.
Why? You're there now. It's not like you have anything else to do. I'm sure you can manage on your own.
Do you know how difficult it is using public transportation with a small child? You've never done it, so you don't know how hard it is.
Oh, your nagging reminds me of Mom. Anyhow, I'm off. Be careful coming home.
Don't forget to let your sisters know about Mom.
Yeah. Luna, did you say anything to Scarlett and Ivy?
Not that I recall. I just told them the same thing I told you the other day. I even said I'm sure they've already heard it from you.
That's what I'm talking about. They came here to complain to me in person.
They came to your office? And they complained? About what?
That my wife is good for nothing. Can you imagine how I felt when they said that in front of everyone at work? I was so embarrassed.
You and your sisters are the ones that are good for nothing.
What? How dare you badmouth my sisters?
Oh no! I said something mean about his beloved sisters. Your abnormal affection towards your sisters is disturbing.
There's nothing wrong with my relationship with them. I respect them, that's all. They work really hard and are both super successful.
How wonderful for them. Ugh, all you talk about is work, work. It's like work is the only thing that matters in life to you.
Well, you're just a housewife. You wouldn't know anything about working hard. That's like playing house as a child.
Wow, what a wonderful way to phrase what your wife does every day. Do you even know how your mother is, health-wise?
Of course not. It's your duty as my wife to keep on top of all those things.
Wow, yes, Master. I really should be more on top of things. Especially since you're only concerned about your darling sisters. I guess a part of my role as your wife is to protect your male pride as well.
Why are you trying to push my buttons? Taking care of elderly parents is part of a wife's responsibilities. Be sure nothing goes wrong.
Is that what Scarlet and Ivy think too?
Of course, Luna. I know your parents have already passed, so you should be grateful you have this opportunity to take care of an elderly parent.
Through taking care of your mom, I got to see different sides of you, Harry. You really are the worst. And not just you, but your sisters too.
Do you realize you're digging your own grave? At this rate, after Mom passes, I'll divorce you.
Really?
Yes, really. There's no way you can survive on your own. If you apologize now, I'll forgive you.
I really like Mom, so I want to be with her until the end. So thank you for that option.
What's wrong with you? I strongly suggest you think and act more sensibly.
Sure thing. I guess it's because I'm in a good mood today. I haven't felt like this since before we got married.
What the? Do you know who's working hard to provide you with this lifestyle?
I know, it's you, for now.
Yes. And if we get divorced, you'll be the one on the streets, without a penny to your name.
Maybe. But even then, getting divorced from you would be great.
You know, you've changed since you've started taking care of Mom. You've gotten more vocal. You should pick your battles more carefully.
Really? Well, I've been holding things in for too long, I guess. Now I see the pride of a man secretly in love with his sisters. I was walking on eggshells so I wouldn't hurt your feelings.
What? You never know when to stop, do you? Just shut your mouth and take care of Mom like you're supposed to. As soon as it's all over, we'll get a speedy divorce.
Don't worry, I'll take care of Mother.
Now that everything with Mom's funeral's over, I plan on filing the divorce papers first thing tomorrow morning. It's what you want, right?
It was a beautiful funeral, wasn't it? I know she's in a better place now, but I'm still devastated that she's gone.
You were crying more than anyone else, Luna. You really made it seem like you cared for her. Thanks, I guess.
I really wonder how your brain can be so screwed up. Let's keep this short. Text me after you've handed in everything you need for the divorce.
So you really don't care if I go through with it? Don't come crawling back to me later, begging me to take you back.
As if. There's no way I would do that.
Okay, then I'll head to the courthouse first thing tomorrow morning.
Thank you. Once the divorce is granted, could you send a picture of the confirmation?
No problem. I don't know why you need it, but I don't know what it is with you right now, but you're kind of pissing me off.
Well, you won't have to deal with me for much longer. Tough it out for a little while more. Thanks for taking care of the paperwork.
Hello, Luna. My aunt called me.
What do you want?
Well, because... How much was Mom worth?
Are you really asking me this? You're her son. Shouldn't you know about your own mother's assets?
My aunt told me I must have inherited a lot of money. She called to see if I'd lend my cousin some money for college. I never managed Mom's stuff, so I don't know anything about it.
Why am I not surprised your aunt would call you for money as soon as your mom died? Ugh, something is definitely wrong with your family.
Luna, did Mom ever mention anything to you?
You should look into it yourself. I'm rather busy at the moment.
What's with the attitude? Is that any way to treat someone who you used to be married to? Hold on, Ivy's calling me.
Oh, great. I wonder what insight she has to share this time. Take all the time in the world. I'll be going then.
Did you inherit money from my mom? You did, didn't you? Give it back. Belongs to me and my sisters.
Did you read her will?
Will? I don't know anything about a will. But I'm her real child. I have a right to my mother's money.
Is that so? I think if you look back to how you treated her, a judge would disagree.
No, it doesn't matter if I visited Mom when she was sick or not. If you keep that money, you're basically a thief. I'll have you thrown in jail.
The will states she left everything to me. It doesn't matter if you're her actual child. The will is mightier than blood.
You were plotting this all along, weren't you? You wanted to get close to her so she'd give you the money. Oh, what you did is a crime. I'm gonna report you and sue you.
What an imagination. Your idea of what's legal is warped from all the stupid crime TV shows you watch. Maybe if you spent less time watching them and more time caring for your mom, things would be different. I'll have you know, she advised me on everything.
Advised you? On what?
Before she passed, she told me. She was really sad her son and daughters weren't there in her final moments.
Well, she must have been as dense as you then. I've told both of you 100 times we were really busy at work. What could we have done?
That's the problem. Since you were also busy at work, she was worried what effect that would have on your family life. Or that you guys were in debt and had to work. She loved you and was really concerned about you three until the end.
What are you getting at? I bet that's because of you. You probably brainwashed her into thinking I was a bad person.
Brainwashed her? No, I often asked her for advice. You never helped me with the housework or taking care of our son. And whenever we spoke, you barked orders at me. It was so patronizing.
Why are you trying to spin it that way? Isn't it obvious a husband is the king of the house? If you ask anyone, I bet they'd say the same thing. Maybe I was a little harsh at times, but that's my style. I can't help who I am. And what are you even complaining about? I always brought home more than enough money for the family.
Money isn't everything. It won't heal the pain from you telling me how worthless I am for being a stay-at-home mom. I've lost count of how many times you called me a pathetic housewife. I've cried from your abuse too many times to remember.
But it's the truth. I don't see what the problem is.
Oh yeah, well, I have some truth for you too. Up until your mom passed away, she was begging me to divorce you. That's when I realized our marriage wasn't normal.
And you got your divorce. That conversation is over. Now we need to focus on that money which rightfully belongs to us. You need to give it back ASAP or there's going to be trouble.
Mother said she must have raised you three wrong. She said she probably wasn't strict enough.
And what does that have to do with anything? All it did was let us keep our distance from her without any guilt. Oh, you really know how to get on my nerves, don't you?
You failed as a son and as a husband. Honestly, you're a poor excuse for a human being. Do you know what your mom's last words to me were? Divorce him as soon as possible. Find yourself a good job and live a life of happiness. You deserve it. Do you understand how much she cared for me?
But Luna, there's no way you could hold down a job.
You pay no attention to my life, so there's no way you would know this. But I've picked up a hobby lately, and it's been keeping me pretty busy.
And you think you're special because you have a hobby?
I opened a shop online. I started selling some of my handmade goods. It won't make me a millionaire, but it's putting food on the table. I'm going to use it as a means of income, so I won't have to touch the money I got from Mom.
You little... Oh, I bet you wasted half of Mom's money in your stupid little crafts. You better not spend another penny of that money. I want it all back, plus whatever you're making at your dumb little online store.
I literally just said I started the store so I wouldn't have to touch the money. How stupid are you? If you really think you have a right to the money, why don't you lawyer up and try and take it from me? No matter how much you fuss over it, the inheritance isn't yours.
I've given it some thought. I think it's best that we get married again. If we're a couple again, I think I can convince Scarlet and Ivy to back off.
Oh, your obsession with them is creepy. Also, absolutely not. I'm finally free of you. You're deranged if you think I'd ever spend another second in the same room with you, let alone remarry you.
I'll have you know it isn't as easy as you think to survive in the world. You think earning a few $100s a month from your dumb craft store is going to keep you afloat? Even if you do use Mom's money, it'll only be a matter of time before you spend it all.
I intend to keep Mom's inheritance for our son. Like I've already said twice, I'm not going to touch the money she left for me. I swore to her I'd put it to good use.
Then you're going to be even more strapped for money to make ends meet each month. Don't worry, honey. Your big, strong man will come back to save you. I'll bring home the money just like I used to.
Ew, don't ever call me that again. I don't want to return to hell.
When did you get so independent? It's hard out there. I'll provide for you.
Yeah, I think I'll be okay. Plus, the money I bring home every week is way more than what you were making.
What? Are you kidding? There's no way that's possible.
I don't care if you don't believe me. Anyhow, I can manage on my own, so I don't need you.
But what about the inheritance?
You won't let it go, will you? And to think you didn't even know it existed until your aunt told you.
Tell you the truth, I bought a new car. The monthly payments are burning a hole in my finances. So when my aunt told me about the inheritance, I thought how great it would be to pay it all off. If you're not going to give me all the money, can't you just give me enough to pay off the car?
I couldn't care less about your car. Why don't you work hard and just pay it off each month? I'm sure if you work really hard, your commission will take care of a measly car payment.
You loved me, didn't you? Can't you do your former husband this one last favor? Honestly, you don't have the right to say no. You should be thankful I'm asking so nicely.
Where's the male pride you've thrown in my face all these years? Isn't it a man's job to take care of his debts himself? Or why don't you ask your precious sisters who work super hard for a handout?
There's no way they have that much money. They have their own families. Oh, I'm really sorry for the way I've acted all these years, Luna. Please, help me.
It's too late to apologize now. You were the one who chose that payment plan, right? Why would you pick a car that you couldn't afford? Only an idiot buys a brand new car they can't afford from the start. Why don't you go for a drive with your sisters and try to convince them to pay for it before it gets repossessed? I'm sure you're looking for any excuse to spend some time with them.
Aw, you little... I told you. I don't have those types of feelings for my sisters.
Really? I bet if it were legal to marry your siblings, you would have done it years ago. Anyway, I'm absolutely not going to remarry you. Get that thought out of your head. And getting a dime from Mom's inheritance is just as unlikely. There's one more thing Mom made me promise her before she passed. She said to do whatever it takes to make sure you don't see even a penny of that money. Harry and his sisters would not give up on the inheritance. They blew up my phones every day, harassing me for the money. I foolishly thought showing them their mom's will would change things. It made no difference to that trio of idiots. I ended up seeking professional legal help, and it was finally resolved. The three of them harassed me and constantly verbally abused me. But in the end, they had no choice but to give up. On the other hand, the online shop I opened has been going really well. I'm enjoying the time I get to spend with my son. I have no idea where Harry is now, and I honestly don't care. But I heard that even his beloved sisters had enough of him. It sounds like they want nothing to do with him anymore. He's getting all the hate he deserves. I bet he's working himself to death because he can't stand the idea of a pathetic housewife earning more than him. Good luck, loser!